Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Collecting Vintage Unopened podcast. My name is Brandon Stewart. This is a podcast devoted to discussing anything and everything in regards to the collecting of vintage unopened sports cards and non-sports cards. And tonight I have a very special guest. Jake Ralfs is here. Thank you for joining me, Jake.
Thank you. I enjoy your podcast.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. So I thought we could start by discussing a little bit about your background in the hobby and how you got into collecting unopened.
Well, first let me start off when I mean, just getting into collecting, short story, just as a kid, I grew up in a small town and it was right around 87, 88. And I remember distinctly, there was a small general store in town in Walcott, Iowa. Many of you probably passed it on I-80 going through Iowa if you ever get through there, but small town there. And I remember collecting pop cans, beer cans, anything I could in a wagon. I'd take them up to the general store and so I could buy 88 football wax packs. And I still have the first big card I ever pulled was, this is still that card, was the Walter
cool.
Payton, and it's all beat up, but yeah, that Walter Payton record breaker. Growing up as a Bear fan, my dad was, and saw him at 87 training camp up in Platteville. So big fan of that. But it was towards the end of his career. But yeah, so yeah, going up there and then after that, just collecting football, and I dabble into baseball, basketball, whatever the kids in town collected and wanted to trade with. So yeah, that started that. And then, I mean, after, you get into high school and college and family and all that. So it kind of, those just went in the closet. And probably back in 2016, 2017, kind of piqued my interest a little bit in it. Started looking back. I'm like, I got a career. I got some disposable money, just to play with. So I was like, I've never had a Walter Payton rookie. So I'm like, I'm going to find one. So ended up looking on eBay and discovering that and looking, and I didn't know what PSA was. I didn't know what anything, I just wanted to buy one. So ended up buying one on there, and that kind of rekindled everything. And then I was like, okay, I need the 77 card. I need the 78, like all different variations of this, as they got later in his career, more and more cards per set. So, and then from there, it was like, okay, I got this rookie card and looking and getting on Facebook groups. And go back. It was on eBay. I was looking at Payton rookies and looking at, what's the highest priced one on there, and looking, and there's a graded pack like with him on top. And I'm like, no, like that's weird. That's
Sure.
like, no way. Like, okay, I got to have that. Like, but that's way too much. I can't spend that. Like, my wife would kill me. I got better stuff to spend on. And as you get looking and okay, you buy and sell some stuff and save up a little money. And finally, and that was when eBay, I don't know if you remember when eBay had all those crazy 10 or 20% off sales a lot.
I do remember
where it'd be
that,
up to like $200 off of
yeah.
That's unheard of now.
Oh yeah.
And, so finally, I was at that point where I made an offer during that 20% off. So it was like $200. So I made an offer and I got the pack. So, and from there, it led me to the Vintage Wax and Packs page. And I mean, all bets are off from that point. I mean, got to know all the guys on there, and God, it was just like opening up a whole new can of worms. And I personally, I enjoy the rarity of it, and you start looking, and everybody's got the Walter Payton PSA, whatever, 9, 10, or not 10, but, good high grades or whatever. But how many packs are there with him on top? So I was drawn to that. And then pretty soon you start looking at the other stuff, and it was like, wow, this is for me. And then the community started coming along slowly, and getting to meet Kurt, knowing he's from Iowa, and Chris up from Wisconsin, and Mike, and
Oh yeah.
and
now our group has over 12,000 members, I think, or
right,
14,000 members, something crazy. Like I think it's still niche. I don't know if you agree if it's still a niche part of the hobby, but I think it is definitely growing.
I think the understanding of what vintage packs are is pretty niche still.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's still a lot of people in the group that, you still see those comments are like, why would anybody pay this for this pack? Like, this card's not worth that. And it's like, well, you're in the group, but it's still the 12,000 is kind of misconceiving when it comes to the,
That's a fair point. There have been comments, or it seems like there's a lot of the same questions over and over and over that have already
right,
been asked. Why would you ever send a pack in to get graded?
right,
questions like that, which are fine. It's okay to ask those questions, and I certainly understand why when people go, this card's $1. Why on earth is this pack
sure,
5 times the price of a common pack?
right.
The whole idea of rarity that you talk about, to me, that's the appealing part of it too.
Yeah, absolutely for me.
There's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of Walter Payton rookies out there. Beautiful card, by the way. That's one of the iconic sports cards
Absolutely.
of all time. Well, since we're on that, I've been trying to ask some of the people I've interviewed, what are your thoughts on pack grading? Because I have mixed feelings, I think is a polite way to put it.
My feelings have changed quite a bit from year to year. I mean, I tell you the truth, from day one, and then I mean, I was that guy that as soon as I got into it, I wanted to know everything about pack grading and talking. When I talked to Kurt, I got to meet him and talk to Mike and about, and Tim. Like I started messaging them guys about, when I heard about this pack might not be good, and then reading the CU forums about fake packs being made, and it was a rabbit hole, like
Sure.
a lot of stuff. But I have to know that stuff. Like, I can't own something that I'm not. So for me, at first it was like, okay, you don't know about it. You don't know, I wanted to know more, but then it got into, well, Steve knows a lot more. PSA knows a lot more about packs, and, I trust that. And it obviously made the value and the more you got to know that that the packs were legit, the new ones that were being done, I was
Sure.
all for it. And the prices were right. The turnover time was right. And then obviously, like everything, the pandemic just made shit crazy. And,
Yeah.
and then you start seeing packs online that are, I don't know, 90 score packs. And you're like, oh, that's why my 76 packs are taken. But so now I'm kind of at the point where I'm a little bit turned off by the fact that there's one company. I trust Steve 100%, and you can send a rack pack to Steve and have it done for $10 or $30 for a high end one or whatever, and have it back in hours. I drove up. I'm not far from Steve. I drove up there with some nice stuff and dropped them off and said, I'm going to be in town here. Let me know when they're done. Okay. Went up to the Buffalo Wild Wings and had a little dinner and a couple beers, and went back there in 3 or 4 hours, and he had them done, and couldn't have been, greater thing. So, so I love that part of it, but the pack grading part I couldn't care less about grades, really. I mean, I like a really nice clean pack, and I like a 9-10 looking pack, but when it comes, I'm a player collector mostly, like with my packs, Walter Payton. So if I get a PSA 6 pack that's rare and I've never seen before, I don't care if it's a 9-10 or 6 or 4 or whatever, I want it authentic. That's all I wanted,
Yeah, well, and I'm glad you said that you don't care about the grade, because I understand that there are the registry guys that that are very serious about the grade.
I was that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's great. That's great if that's your bag. But to me, if it's a 6, but it looks nice and the colors are pretty, I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a glaring error on the pack, like a giant hole in the pack, that would drive me crazy. But other than that, I couldn't care less. Does it fit my collection, and it's in that nice protective case, and that's about
right.
Me with pack.
Because you've seen a PSA 7 that's the top card's way off center, but it's otherwise beautiful. And you've seen a PSA 7 with 4 cracked corners and browning, and And you're like, oh,
Well,
you know,
and yeah, well, and
I really don't want that one. I'd
yeah,
rather have
exactly.
the pristine one, and they grade that car being way off center on the top. Cool.
Or you get it back, it comes back a 9, but the gum pokes through.
Oh yeah,
And you have a big.
that's why I'm not a big wax guy. I'm with Kurt with that. We've talked extensively about that.
Sure. So you're more of sending cellos in to get graded.
Fellows, yeah, and then now more racks just because of the PSA deal with just the time frame and the pricing, and I don't know,
Sure.
just kind of threw me off a little.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think it's the delay, especially some of the collectors that we've seen where they're getting their packs back and the label it's wrong. They're getting the year wrong, or they're not identifying the correct player showing on back, or on glaring mistakes.
Yeah, I've sent packs in, like one pack I sent in twice. They got it wrong twice.
Oh,
like
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's absolutely crazy. So what is your favorite year of vintage football to collect unopened? Is it 76, or do you have a year you focus on, or is it mostly just the players?
Well, obviously 76 is near and dear to my heart. I mean, I can't say it's not, because
Sure.
my focus is 76 through 80, 788 with the Payton packs. But I mean, I had the full 70 to 79 run. I had unbelievable packs I loved having, and I just kind of I liked having them for the reason that I had them, but then I'd get them out and I'd gravitate towards my Payton packs. I love those, love looking at those, and then nostalgia and the start, being a Bears fan, being a Payton fan, and so. But 71, I had that for a while, just kind of. I mean, the older stuff's cool as shit, like the differences with the 72 had the packs with the logo on it and no logo, sure. Just those. I like that idea that there was while they were making those, there was different wrappers, and using older wrappers. I've had 75 packs and 74 cellos. I've had 70, just those cool little variations and stuff that some people wouldn't notice, but I love it. 79 too. 79, you got 79 had probably half of them had the brown football, half of them had the yellow.
I have never noticed that. That's really cool.
Yeah, and the yellows is 78 leftovers, and I like that, and I think they're a little bit more rare, so I like those. I'm not going to turn down the other one, but sure. I love that yellow. It's a little bit tighter wrap, and then obviously the brown football was used for years after that. But
sure. And you've had some super cellos in the past.
Yeah, I got 79 just recently.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, with the Bears. Cool. I had to get that one when I saw that one, the Alan Page on top.
And those have 10 more cards, right, from the regular stuff.
Yeah, and no gum in them.
Yeah, that's all.
Gum at the bottom, but
sure.
But yeah, same thing. I've seen Payton ones of those, and I kind of shy away from them because it's not supposed to be on top, and Steve doesn't. For some reason, Steve doesn't wrap them. I don't know if he's got it in his contract or what, but he won't authenticate those for some reason. So
he won't do super cellos.
No, that's right. No.
Oh, interesting. Because you would think that would be because he'll authenticate the larger items that PSA can't slab,
right?
Which is certainly a super cello. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually owned a super cello, but they're so cool, and some of them are so rare, like a 78 Topps football.
Yeah, those go for big money. This my 70 or my 80.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
the Bears team on top with the big bazooka gum underneath.
That's awesome.
So I got one Payton super cello, I guess. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's really, really cool. And so what are some of your favorites? Do you have some that you're obviously, do you have your 76 with the Payton on top? Can you show us that? Because
oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's going to be one that
Oh
is,
man,
the best of the best. And this is, same thing. This was an 8,
sure.
and long story, but I had a 9, and at the time I couldn't pass up a deal for it. And this one is just as good, if not better. Like I said, the
Wow,
top card's just a little bit off, but the
sure.
registries card's great. It's nice,
Oh
nice,
yeah, that's beautiful.
and it's a new cert number, a new holder, and everything. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah,
And
that's
9 times out of 10, if you put a gun to my head and say, which one is the 8, which one is the 9,
yeah,
I
right.
would, yeah, I would guess wrong. Yeah. So
Yep.
if you can get an 8 that's just as beautiful or more
Yeah.
beautiful, more power to you.
And in a pack like that, a huge pack, there's such a price difference too.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, I mean, to me, I mean, you just saw that PSA 10 pack sold that one of the guys in the group got, and it's like
Oh,
amazing,
one of the
amazing.
guys in the group got it. How much did they go for?
101, yeah.
Wasn't it like
So
50 grand or something? It was a
it was in the
lot.
40s, yeah. So, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's subjective, and that much money is
Yeah, no, to each their own. I mean, if you've got,
beautiful pack, but
I think,
I'm not that guy that's forking out that money.
yeah, no, I think half the time I see that, I'm a little bit bitter because I know if I had that disposable income, I
Yeah.
would do the same thing. And my wife gives me a hard time. She's like, you would do the exact same thing. Like, yeah, probably. You're
Yep. Yeah, I don't hold it. I mean, Chris Ladd and I are buddies, and Kurt, and
right.
I see, and him and I share stories and videos and texts, and it's like so happy for those guys, and they get that.
Oh yeah.
It's not a tinge of jealousy when I see. I love seeing people post awesome packs they get, and
No, yeah.
it's not like, why'd you pay that much, or that
Yeah,
each their own.
no. Oh no. Yeah, no. Well, I mean,
Today's
and
day and age, we don't need jealousy. We don't need people bickering
no,
over what pack's better or why you paid what.
no, yeah. If that's what the market bears in an auction, then that means there was more than one person who saw that
Right.
item as being not just desirable, but up to a certain value.
Yep.
And so it's not like he was bidding against himself. There's other
Right.
people that you're competing with. And if it's a $50,000 pack or $45,000 pack, that's what the market is. I mean, who are we to judge for? I mean, other than the jealousy or the little bit of bitterness. I wish I
Yeah. Right.
so it seems one thing I've noticed, I'm sure you've noticed this recently. It seems like the unopened market has softened quite a bit.
Absolutely.
And I've noticed that generally speaking, with some exceptions, I think Payton is a big exception. I think maybe the 86 tops Jerry Rice packs showing are a big exception, but football's generally less valuable on the market
Yep.
than baseball. And it does seem like the football market has been hit pretty hard in the past 6 months or so. I don't know. Have you experienced that? Prices seem.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, I keep telling myself, what, 2 years ago, 2.5 years, I don't know when
Sure.
when was
Yeah.
2020, March
Yeah.
2020, like those were same prices then, and that's what it should be. I mean,
Sure.
I
Yeah.
don't, I got to remind myself of that. Like,
Sure. Well,
like I bought, I was buying, PSA 981 cellos or for 75, $80.
mhm.
And now if you put it on the page for that, it's like, wow, that guy's underselling that, because they were 150, 200 during, in the last year or two. But
That's true.
that's just, people got them, people wanted them, they got their one or whatever. And
Yeah. Well, if anything, I don't mind a down market because you can buy stuff.
You're right.
To me, it's not, if you're a collector, if you're coming at it strictly from a financial standpoint, which
Exactly.
you nor I are doing that. It seems to be driven by, obviously I'm a baseball guy, so it's different, but I have some football, but if you're driven by the love of the collecting, down market's okay. Like, I don't mind it, but that's just me.
No. But at the same time, that's why, I kind of soften on because you're used to getting your packs back. And I was buying packs, not for the sole I'd sub 10 packs, and 7 or 8 of them I'd keep, and a couple I'd want to sell.
Yep.
Just to kind of, make up that fees, the grading fees or whatever. And then I was buying some, and pretty soon it's 16 months, or, it's like, And now it's at the point where it is now. So it's kind of frustrating when you get those back.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
When you said they were worth this much or whatever,
Yeah, when the market's hottest is when they're just sitting at PSA. It's like, what are you doing to me? Right? It's like all the people that held all those PSA 10 Lucas, that were sitting at PSA, and now
I pay attention to all that. I mean, I read the hobby board stuff, and I find that interesting because it's a lot better than watching a stock market or watching gold market or whatever. It's
sure,
interesting stuff.
Yeah, we actually have a passion about what it's a tangible product that's attached to the market versus the stock market, which is that's a whole other can of worms. We don't need to get into that. But so do you have some other football packs from your collection that you'd like to show?
Yeah, probably besides that Payton cello I had, this is probably my most recent big pickup, which this one will never leave anywhere because I've probably seen one of these or two. I think I've seen 2 of them from a guy that had in the group, but not for sale. And this is the first one I've seen for sale. It's a 77 rack.
Oh man.
And on top of that, it's got my guy Doug Plank in the middle, another bear.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is
so this is one that I won at auction and not too long ago, and I don't have any 77 Payton packs or cellos. There's I think the Pop's 1 at PSA.
Wow, that's
for
crazy.
him on back. Yeah, so I haven't located one. I don't know why it's
That's interesting.
I mean, 77's a hard year for football.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real tough year for packs, for cello packs. There's no 10s. There's I think there's only 70 some packs graded total.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've been looking for a Payton on back for my whole unopened career and haven't seen one. So
that's easy.
But yeah, and then 78, this is one of my favorites. Kurt, I got this from Kurt. He got it out of a box.
Oh wow.
Himself, and subbed it, and then was kind enough to sell it to me. It's got the Payton highlights on top. Again, PSA 7.
Yeah.
Couldn't care. This pack's
yeah, that is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, from a sealed case box,
yeah, that's as fresh as it gets.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. And then obviously got the 78s. You can only get the base Payton on back. Well,
okay.
I got 2 of these. But this one you can see a little better, but yeah.
Oh,
you can see the base.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Base is on back.
Who's on the front?
Eagle, Mecca.
Okay. Oh, that's a very nice pack, though. I love.
Yeah, this goes back to in 20. I think I got this in 2017 or no, maybe 2019. I think I got it for $60 on eBay at an auction.
That's awesome.
I don't even want to think about what it's worth now. And then Chris Ladd, same thing. He found this in a 76 box. It's a Chicago Bears checklist from 76, and was kind enough to sell it to me, and I had it slabbed, and one of the only other got Walter's name on it on the front.
Sure.
79 record breaker.
Oh, that's awesome.
On top, another 79's a great year. AB and I are good buddies from the group, and we love everything 79. We've sold stuff back and forth. This is one pack that I sold him when I got another one, and then I had to have it back. So he was nice enough to sell it back to me. It's got Payton face out on the back, the 79.
Oh, that's cool.
Like it should be, only on the back.
That's one of my favorite Payton cards. That is that's a nice.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, and again, I have no idea why that's a 7. That looks absolutely gorgeous.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and then obviously the leaders card. I think I showed that with him and Campbell. Campbell's rookie on.
Oh, that's
on here's another one. Kurt had sold me. He had boxes and was looking for wax, and this one has the 79 Payton on the back, and you can probably can't see it but it's face out. You can clearly see. You can make out his face mask on there, and
that's
so
cool.
yeah, another one that just you find buddies in the hobby that look out for you and sell you packs that they find, and so 70s Payton packs are pretty much my jam at the most part. I got all the 80s ones. They're not as hard to come by, but 70s ones are, and then 85. I love 85. I got a bunch of random 85. Like here's one. This is a grocery rack, right? 80. And it's got double Payton, got 2 Paytons on top and a Willie Galt.
Oh, that's awesome.
So 3 Bears and 2 Paytons on top. And then one of the Paytons on back's got Dan Marino on the back. So.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty killer rack, like stuff like that rare stuff that.
Sure.
It's hard to let, you'd never let go of stuff like that because I get them out all the time and look at them,
Sure, sure. Yeah, I think does your wife ever
get back to being a kid?
Yeah, it does take you back to being a kid. I think
and looking at, imagine being a kid in the store and looking up and being like, wow, look at that rack hanging there. That's got it's got 2 Paytons on it.
Some of the pictures they post in the group where it's like someone going down an aisle and it's like nothing but like the 1975 Topps wax box.
Oh.
And it's, whatever, how much they were a pack. It's just, oh my gosh. If we
we
only knew.
Start pushing them in the cart, Ma.
Yeah, no kidding. This is my retirement fund. You'll understand later. No.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up, I didn't have much growing up and like when I'd see, my dad would send me down Dad, can I go get a snack? Yeah, here's $1.50, $2. And all right, go down there and look around. And I remember one time I found a 88 Super, or one of the jumbo cellos. And I was looking through them and one of them had the fridge on top, William Perry. So so I bought it because I had to have, I needed that card for my set or my bear set. And I remember after I was halfway home and I hadn't opened it yet, but I remember thinking to myself, oh shit, my dad's gonna be so mad at me because I told him I wanted a snack, and like I really didn't want a snack. I just wanted to go to the store and this football pack was more important to me. But
sure,
he understood when I got home, and
sure,
I didn't get in much trouble, but he was probably happy I was a Bears fan.
Well, there's worse things you could spend your money on. Like that's not, other than the gum in it, there's nothing toxic in it for you, but
right. Yeah.
So did you ever get into any other teams other than the Bears, or do you collect, for instance, like Jerry Rice rookie racks or Montana rookie racks or other?
Yeah, I've had a lot of star packs. I mean, the good thing is the Bears in the 80s had a lot of, they were good. They had a lot of Hall of Famers and rookies and stuff. So I have I've got, a killer Gary Fensick pack. I love this 79 Gary Fensick.
Oh yeah,
it's got Franco Harris on the back. So that's another pack I love. But yeah, I mean, as far as I've had Jerry Rice packs and always looking for that stuff. And those are packs that, like you said, those are iconic and they're not, it's crazy that those didn't get ripped back in the day because everybody didn't really care about, the pack, unopened pack. They were like, oh, there's Payton on top. I'm opening that to get that Payton out,
Oh yeah. Well, that's what's so amazing to me about it is part of the mystery of unopened, especially some of the stuff you've shown today, this mid 70s stuff. Why the heck is this stuff still around?
How did it survive?
Yeah. Because the goal was to get the candy for a lot of people, to get the gum. It wasn't even the cards. The cards were like, oh, just throw these away or put them on my bike. Like, who cares about these cards? So the fact that there's still some of this stuff, and there's still a lot of some of it from the late 70s, which is great because it's still relatively affordable.
more than you think too. I mean, we talk, you know, you have your little chats and you're like, see this stuff found. You're like, God, there's got to be more than we think out there. You know, you think, man, there's how many cases of this year product, you know, 76 football, just for my reason, but how many, God, there can't be many out there, but God, you'd be surprised. Probably the old boys sitting on that just aren't saying a word.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, those fines that people, it's crazy.
Well, I'm curious. I would love to see what Fritsch still has.
I read that article that Jason posted the other day about, you know, from what, 2018, I think. And he walked in he was in there in 2008 and he walked through there and said there was just cases and pallets of shit, you know, and you're like,
sure. For baseball, 1979 Topps is kind of the one that I think, if there was one product that was kind of the 88 Donruss of the 70s, it's kind of that. There just seems to be so much of it, which is great because there's so many cool packs still available to be discovered. But I don't know how many cases of that Fritsch still has. They have to be sitting on. It wouldn't surprise me if it was dozens.
I would pay to see.
Oh yeah, me too.
I don't know if my face would hurt after walking through there. I'd be smiling, going, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, no kidding.
Let me look in that box. What's in there? What's in there?
Could I open this case? Would that be a problem if I cut this open? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, that would be
no,
unbelievable.
The hunt is what keeps me going. The excitement, seeing something new, you know, that's why this is the most fun area of the hobby to me. I enjoy cards out of the package, but unopened is just where it's at.
Right. Every time I open, I mean, my son likes, you know, he's 11 and we, you know, I buy a lot of cheap stuff to rip with him. And looking back before the pandemic, we were ripping like 88 football all the time and 87, you know, and you could just buy a, you know, box or two for $100, you know, get a couple boxes, you know, and well, we had a blast doing that, you know, and like, oh, Bo Jackson rookie, you know, we'd high five and, you know, it's like, this brings you back. Cause I didn't get to do that as a kid, you know, like I'd go down and I'd get enough nickels to go get one pack. And it was like, oh man, I didn't get what I wanted. And that's what makes it like that Payton. I still have like, this thing's beat to shit, you know, like, and I'm so glad I kept that over the years, you know, like that card to me is,
you can't put a price on the sentimental and the memories with your son. That's awesome. I hope my kids are still very young, but knock on wood, I'm really hoping one of them, when they understand, likes cards. But if they don't, I'll still love them. But it's it'll be easier in this family. I tell them, if you just like baseball and you like cards, but Well, Jake, thank you so much for coming on and showing some of your awesome unopened collection. It's really been a pleasure.
Yeah, I agree. I was nervous as shit when you asked me about it. I'm like, well, I have a couple drinks. We just had, my wife and I grilled out and did the Iowa thing, sat outside for a little bit. And I'm like, all right, I'm good. So thank you very much. This was playful.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah. And it's been a blast, and I'm sure I'll hopefully see you next year at the National. So
I hope so, buddy.
Awesome. Well, take care.
You too. God bless. Take care.
Yep. Take care.
See ya.